Hello, everybody. This is Christian from Soul Cymatics, and today I want to share with you a full breakdown of breathwork and how to optimize your breathwork practice. So, this will be a win win for me because I have initiated a 100-day breathwork challenge, which I will adhere to. So, I might as well get it over and done with in this moment along with this video. So some people mistakenly believe that when you're doing breath work, intense breathing, like this sort of thing, right, that you're oxygenating your body. You are not oxygenating your body. You're actually exhaling so much CO2 that although you might have increased the oxygen capacity in your lungs and potentially even in your blood, because you are releasing so much CO2 being the molecule that signals to your body, to your cells, that they need to absorb the oxygen. Because you're exhaling all the CO2, you cannot actually absorb and utilize the oxygen that you're inhaling. So this results in a state called hypoxia. Hypoxia meaning lack of oxygen. So this is actually what we are inducing here. And this is also where some of the immune benefits from breath work come from, because CO2, as you might know from like carbonated drinks and whatnot, it is acidic. So when you're exhaling all this CO2, decreasing the acid levels in your body, you are becoming more alkaline, and many organisms, cancer cells, whatnot, are said to not thrive in an alkaline environment. Mind you, this is not something I'm an expert in. I do know that the body's and blood pH levels are very tightly regulated. I do not believe in an alkaline lifestyle. I do not believe you should start messing too much around with your body's pH levels, because we would die pretty damn quickly if the body's pH balance started moving too much off center. So this is simply to lay the groundworks for an understanding of what is actually happening at a biological level when you're doing the breath work. We are inducing a state of lack of oxygen. And this is also why some people get the sensation or pinching of the limbs. It's called tetania. Your jaw might start locking up, your hands cramp together, your feet. You might start getting like little T-Rex arms. This is essentially because your body is not getting enough oxygen, and it can feel very intense. It can feel like you're literally losing physical control of your own body. And I have heard it argued that these tensions that we feel, this locking up of the body, are tensions that we need to release into, relax into, go with the breath, just be with it. Personally, I rather enjoy these these bodily effects from breath work. I think it is very pleasurable. It can be very energetic. You can feel buzzing vibrations in the body. And I would even say from personal experience, if you take it really, really, really far, you might even start feeling this buzzing and vibrating perforate out your body into your energy field. So you can feel the vibrations all the way out here, and it sort of dissolves this like bodily, very materialized sense of physicality that we many times go around with in our day-to-day lives. So you can definitely start to dissolve these physical barriers and open up to the possibility that you are something greater than this very limited manifestation that we often identify with. And another thing that I have found in my own experience doing very intense breath work is that since we're inducing this state of hypoxia, our body might be tricked into believing that it is dying. Some people believe that we are in fact releasing DMT upon death. This is not proven by science. To my awareness, it's still at the hypothesis level. However, it is at least my experience that when my body seems to get into this very intense, very overwhelming state through breathwork, which I interpret to be similar to the process of death, that it can certainly feel like you are dying. There is a part of you that is dying. Your ego, your identity, your belief of who you think you are will have a very tough time coping with these intense states of being that can simply be induced by the simplest tool of all, which is your own breath. So you need to be wary of this at the very least, or to have some awareness that you do not need to fear seeing visual hallucinations, ringing in your ears, hearing gears and various things like threshold DMT doses might very much tend to induce in people. This is very normal. And some people might even do this breathwork practice with the sole aim of having these heightened sort of spiritual experiences, right? So there are a plethora of modifications and methods of breathing that can be utilized during this practice. And we shall explore some of them right here today. So to start off, very simply, you might find yourself either in a seated position sitting on your knees, or you could sit cross-legged. Many times performing the practice myself, I prefer lying in bed. I just think it's most comfortable. My lung capacity seems to be greater when I'm lying down, but you might want to experiment with it. It also depends what modifications you want to involve, but we'll get to it very soon. So first of all, I will introduce the breath of fire technique for you. And what we usually do here is we want to place our fingers right up here at the little pads. We want to bend our fingers, push our thumbs out, straight out. And then we bring our arms up above our head in a 60-degree angle. And it is very, like, many times, in many cases, people might want to sort of tug their shoulders or whatever up, but you don't want to do that. You just want to relax your shoulders, bring them down, and just create a straight line from your arms to your shoulder. And what we do then in this position is, I like the explanation of a panting dog. So what you want to do is, let's just do it together. Sticking your tongue out, breathing through your mouth, panting like a dog. But now do it closing your mouth instead. So what you feel then is your diaphragm pumping. You want to really pump the belly, your stomach, feeling it go in and out. And you want to, during this breathwork practice, you want to really focus on squeezing, pumping your diaphragm. This is where the magic happens, right? So doing a quick little round like this. When we are finished, I will tell you to bring your thumbs together very slowly like this. And when they touch, you extend your fingers outwards and you let go of the breath retention that we will do, and you let your arms glide down and relax. Just be with the experience, and we will do a round, okay? So when we are finished, you will hold your breath and you will bring together your thumbs, extend your fingers. Pumping with your diaphragm, let's go. Inhale, hold. Bring your hands together. And release, letting your arms rest in your lap. Just feel this energy that you've built up. Might feel more energized, perhaps a bit of tingling. Lovely, right? So, there are various bandhas, which are locks, essentially, locks of the body that you can utilize. So we have the Mula Bandha, which is a root lock. We also have a stomach lock, and we have a throat lock. So when you're performing the root lock, you might have stopped peeing when you've gone to the toilet. It is essentially the same muscles. It is a Kegel. You want to really squeeze your perineum, the muscles in your groin area. So you really want to squeeze those muscles in your taint area, right? And you just hold this tension right here. And what this contributes to is to allow the energy that is resting at the base of your spine to travel upwards. The next kind of lock that we want to perform is around the solar plexus and the stomach. So it is performed with empty lungs. It will be more difficult. It will be rather difficult to perform with full lungs. But essentially what you do is you pull your navel in towards your spine. So you basically create a stomach vacuum. You suck in your stomach. Like this, all right? And the final lock, the neck lock, is where we lengthen the neck so it is in alignment with the spine. We tug the chin a little bit in towards the chest so our spine is straight and erect. We have all the three centers locked, and this creates an energy pathway straight up to the brain and back down, which allows the cerebrospinal fluid to be moved and be pumped more efficiently. It allows the energy channels, the Sushumna, the Ida and Pingala, to flow more smoothly. This is what, in my experience, can really bring some of your breathwork experiences to the next level. Because there is you can experiment with this yourself in your own daily practice. Performing these locks compared to not performing them, you will find that the pressure that these locks create all throughout your system, it really squeezes and brings the energy up towards your brain, and you will be able to feel an explosion of energy beyond your imagination. So this is one way that we will now practice. So I will guide once again. Now, however, we will perform another type of breath work. We'll do a deep breath in through the nose, and we will exhale through the mouth. So it looks like this. And we're not forcefully pushing the air out the mouth. We're just letting it fall out of our lungs. So this is not, we're forcefully bringing it in and allowing it, releasing it back out. And another little twist you might want to do with this practice, if you're seated at the very least, which I like to do, is to bring my spine into it, to really extend backwards and then crunch over, rounding your shoulders. So obviously, on the in-breath, you're bending back, extending your shoulders back, and on the out-breath, on the exhalation, you're squeezing forward, letting the air out. So when we have done a few breaths of this, I will be guiding you. We do a full exhale of our lungs. You squeeze your perineum. You suck in your belly, perform a stomach vacuum, you lengthen your neck and tuck in your chin. Sit up straight and let's go. Keep going. You got this. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final breath out. Exhale, empty your lungs. Bend over, squeeze out the air. Push it out, hold, squeeze. Can't hold anymore. Fill your lungs, hold. Squeezing your perineum. And release when you're ready. Return to normal breathing. Just be with this experience right here. So when you're performing these deep breathing practices, you might also want to experiment alternating with mouth breathing, nasal breathing, breathing only out through your nose, or including your mouth. So essentially, if you're breathing in through your mouth, you are able to take in larger quantities of air. However, you will lose the benefit of nitric oxide release in your lungs, in your breathing apparatus. So nitric oxide is what is considered a vasodilator. It dilates your blood vessels. So when you're dilating your blood vessels, obviously you can intake and absorb larger quantities of oxygen into your system, right? So that is one merit to doing it through your nose only. However, you might find benefit to doing it through your mouth because you might be able to, through the larger quantities of air, to really flush out the system more quickly and get to the desired state more quickly. I would say that you should definitely, if you're doing multiple rounds or if you're doing a really long session of breathing, I would start off with nasal breathing, inhaling through your nose, and it doesn't really matter if you're exhaling through your nose or through your mouth. That is up for you to experiment with. But definitely start your practice with nasal inhalation, as this will allow the capillaries, all the blood vessels, to really open up to get all the oxygen, all the air into the smallest capillaries of the body. And as you move on, you might want to try incorporating more mouth breathing, see where that takes you. So, finally, for our final round of breathing, I will introduce you to the concept of stretching and moving your body through the breathing practice. We have already discussed twisting your spine, but you can also twist horizontally like this as you go on. So that could look like something like this. Obviously switching directions. Another method would be keeping your hands up on your shoulders and twisting your spine. And finally, when you have a full breath of air and you're holding your breath towards the end of the exercise or the breathing set that we're doing, you can try really just stretching out your body, really getting into all sorts of different poses, stretching out. Maybe you want to bend over, stretch backwards, right? Because if you have a full breath of air in your body, you will have a lot of pressure built up, and that pressure will really just help you get into a deeper stretch all throughout your body. So if you have any kinks, any tensions in your shoulders and your joints and your spine, it's a good opportunity to really dig into that, release it if possible, and just go with it. Listen to your body. So let's do another in through the mouth this time, out through the mouth. Experiment with that. And I will allow you to, at the end of it, get into any twisting contortions of your body that you like, and you can just go with it. All right, let's go. Breathing out, empty your lungs. Really empty your lungs this time. Squeeze, hold. Fill your lungs when you can't hold anymore. Stretch your body as you please. release when you're ready. Come back to center. Just allow your experience to be as it is right now. Whatever is going on, just be with it. Thank you all very much for tagging along today for this breathwork session. I'm sure there will be many more breathwork sessions with you guys, right? I certainly love this practice, and I hope that you will continue to do it as well. If you're up for it, do a 100-day challenge. There's plenty of apps online to hold you accountable. Perhaps include a friend or family member. Really, integrating any sort of practice into your life is all about commitment. And it is our commitment to ourselves that will most often determine the level of success that we will achieve in life. So I urge you to make a commitment to yourself for your health, for your well-being, for your spiritual growth. And with that, thank you very much.